This is from beloved Paul the Mahachohan, from the Bridge to Spiritual Freedom. How priceless the breath of life is. Consider, dear ones, how priceless the breath of life is, and I must emphasize, to allow the indiscriminate drawing of breath by the body elemental would be like allowing the humankind of outer consciousness free access to the gold reservoir of the world. The Christ self breathes through the lungs, the breath which sustains the human form, and the breath remains in the body so long as the Christ self chooses to continue the inhalation and exhalation by which the air is absorbed or thrown off. You will see, therefore, the drawing of the breath into the body is not controlled by the body elemental, but by the Christ self. If this were not so, at the time of leaving, the third dimensional plane would not be under the control of the true identity, and the body elemental would continue to draw breath according to its limited concept of indefinitely. This will show you that your breath is drawn by the Christ into the physical form, only as long as the Christ self feels that the expenditure of the pure energy in that breath will be for the ultimate good of the individual and the race. When the Christ self determines that the outer personality is no longer serving a constructive purpose by learning a lesson by which the consciousness will grow, it ceases to make its application to the prana of the universe, and the respiratory system ceases to function. Your outer mind will say there are many life streams drawing breath who serve no constructive purpose. The answer is that we are not dealing with the superficial surface existence of the people of the planet Earth, with its wars and hates and vanities. The spiritual hierarchy and the Christ self of every life stream is concerned with the evolution of the soul. The soul requires sometimes very intense experiences, fraught with agony and distress, which will make such a definite imprint on the consciousness that by reason thereof succeeding lives will then benefit their progress through this lesson. You can be sure that the old saying about giving a calf enough rope is true insofar as the Christ self will never sustain breath in a body unless the ultimate lesson will provide the spiritual need for the next embodiment or the ultimate goal of the ascension. For those of you who have had some mental aversions to the practice of yoga, permit me to say it is a form of putting the muscles into practice, employing rhythmic breathing for the benefit of one's well-being, and more importantly, spiritual development. The breathing exercises of yoga are presented to the intellect and find a complementary enthusiasm in the heart. The Christ self is presenting a way by which you may safely increase the drawing of the breath from the universe with the full knowledge that in that greater power you will have greater capacity of endurance, spiritual illumination, and vitality. I counsel you to always bear in mind that when you draw on the universal breath, and you have received its beauty, that your capacity is increased thereby, and what you do with breath will be more important than before. In my privileged office as the Mahachohan for this earth, I wish to convey to you, with all the love of my being, how sacred is the holy breath. And I do anticipate your deep reverence for the elixir of life. Humbly, I am Paul, the Mahachohan.